Hurry, hurry. Bernadette Baxter's the name, and boy, do I have another tale for you this year. You see, back in 1958, Robert and Barbara Castile were newlyweds welcoming to the world their brand new twins, James and Linda. And it was a happy time. The couple fled the CBD apartment across the newly completed Crescent City connection to the West Bank to make their homestead in Algiers. All was going well for the couple. They raised their kids right, and it was a loving household, the envy of the neighbors. That is, until in 1965. You see, when James and Linda were having their 7th birthday party, it was going to be a huge neighborhood affair. They had clowns and bands and games, and everybody was there. Everybody was invited. And the kids, James and Linda, oh, they loved every minute of it. That is, until the presents were brought out, you see. When the presents were brought out, they tried to bring the kids in, but they were nowhere to be found. After a little bit of searching, the police were called, and after the police couldn't find them, days turned into weeks, and eventually into months. Eventually, the bodies of 2 children matching their description did turn up, but evidence back then, it wasn't what it is today, so they never were really that sure. But you see, it doesn't really matter, because Robert and Barbara, it changed them. And the way only losing 2 kids can change you. They became reclusive. The neighborhood family, the people everyone loved, rarely left their house, except once a year. Once a year on the anniversary of their children's death, and consequently their birthday, the couple ventured forth into the streets, seeking a replacement pair. 1 boy, 1 girl, the right age. And when they did, they'd bring them back to this little garage in the house, and they'd throw them a nice birthday party with a cake and candles and all the presents the kids want. But the kids, of course, were too mortified to really enjoy the festivities. You can't really blame them. But when the festivities were done, the kids, well, they too disappeared. No one really knows what happened to them, but none were ever seen again. And that is how it went, year after year after year, all the way until 1975, right when her kids would have been 17 years old. At that point, Barbara began to have doubts about it. She was, some say, finding her sanity again. But Robert, oh no, Robert, he was as driven as ever to continue the twisted tradition. And when he ventured forth to find his victims, he sure enough brought back 2 17-year-old victims, 1 boy, 1 girl. But age had taken its toll on Robert, and it had also taken its toll on Barbara. And now their victims were older and stronger and better able to fight back. And so when they arrived in that house and they found Barbara chained up in the garage, they took the opportunity. They sprang forth and they freed her. But then a titanic struggle ensued, and the boy, whose name is still not known, slayed Robert right there on the garage floor. Barbara, she went crazy again. She jumped the kids, and she took their lives right then and there. But this time, they made too much noise, and the neighbors finally heard what was going on. They reported it to the police. And when they came there, they found Barbara chained to the wall. She put herself back there. Keep the police off the trail. They took her to an insane asylum where she lived out her years, never really convicted of her crimes. It seemed Robert and Barbara would never complete their family. They would never really find that perfect pair of children to call their own. But you know what, folks? Old Burner here, he believes in second chances. And so that's why, for 1 year only, Barbara and Robert are back That's right, a full-night engagement right here in their old house in Algiers. The 25th, the 26th, the 30th, and the 31st of October at 7 p.m. Come on down if you want to see the twisted couple operate, if you want to see the evil birthday parties. But I warn you, if you happen to match what they're looking for, you might not make it out the other side.